Look around Seattle in 2026. Cranes trace the skyline, barges nose through Portage Bay, and detours sketch a city mid-transformation. This isn't random congestion. It's a coordinated push to finish the projects that will shape the next generation of mobility, resilience, and waterfront life. Light rail finally crosses Lake Washington on Line 2. Federal Way trains settle into their first full service year, and crews rebuild SR 520's Portage Bay Bridge, while a new Roanoke lid takes form. Under the streets, a 2.7-mile storage tunnel readies to catch storm surges before they reach the Ship Canal. On the surface, RapidRide J adds bus lanes and protected bike space, and the waterfront polishes its last details. What does all this buy Seattle? And where are the risks, cost, timelines, disruption that could dull the payoff? Imagine boarding at Judkins Park and gliding straight onto the world's only light rail that crosses a floating freeway bridge. That's Line 2 in 2026, Seattle to Mercer Island to Bellevue, finally stitched together over Lake Washington. The I-90 span is the star and the headache. Engineers had to design track systems that flex with waves, wind, and traffic, all while keeping trains whisper smooth. Think of it like laying a violin string across a trampoline. Perfect tension, constant motion. Service patterns feel simple by design. 4-car trains, room for roughly 700-800 riders, roll through new East Side stations with predictable headways. For thousands of commuters, the payoff is time. Fewer transfers, faster trips to jobs in downtown Bellevue, the Spring District, and Redmond. For Seattle, it's capacity relief through the International District and a stronger north-south spine as ridership spreads. But opening a lake crossing isn't a ribbon cutting, it's a proving run. Expansion joints must ride smoothly through winter storms. Power and signaling need bulletproof reliability. Operations teams tune dwell times at Judkins Park and Mercer Island so bridge schedules don't slip. If something wobbles, delays ripple across both shores. Will riders switch from the I-90 Express buses once the novelty fades? Can the system stay reliable when the bridge is rocking in February? The next 12 months will answer both. Picture a morning train sliding past the wetlands near Star Lake, doors opening to commuters who used to crawl up I-5. The Federal Way link is 7.8 miles of new track, and 2026 is its first full year to prove itself. 3 stations, Kent, Des Moines, Star Lake, and Federal Way downtown, anchor a corridor where buses once shouldered most of the load. Now the one line pushes farther south, tying together neighborhoods, Highline College, park and rides, and job centers with a single rail spine. The engineering challenge? Threading elevated guideways through tight freeway interchanges and soft soils without shutting down the region's main artery. Crews pour, columns at night, swing girders over live traffic, and tune traction power so 4-car trains accelerate smoothly up long aerial ramps. It's like rebuilding a conveyor belt while the boxes keep moving. The payoff shows up in transfers. Airport trips simplify. South King riders get a predictable, all-weather option that ignores bottlenecks at the S-curves. But the system still has to win habits. Will riders ditch the car when rain slaps the windshield in January? Will bus restructures feed frequent, reliable rail, or strand riders at the edges? This year is about settling in, smoothing schedules, and proving the South End bet pays off. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about Seattle Megaprojects in 2026, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. Stand on the shoreline at Portage Bay and you can hear the project breathe. Pile drivers thudding, crews guiding rebar cages the size of redwoods into the lake. This isn't just a bridge swap, it's open-heart surgery on a live freeway. The old Portage Bay Bridge, built in the 1960s, gets replaced with a modern, seismically resilient span, while traffic keeps flowing inches away. Staging trestles rise like temporary piers so cranes can hover over water. Demolition and new girders trade places lane by lane. It's precision choreography, with fish window work seasons and noise caps shaping every move. The Roanoke lid is the human piece. Picture I-5 adjacent streets stitched together by a green roof. New open space, safer walking and biking, and a calmer edge to North Capitol Hill and Portage Bay. Below that park, ventilation, drainage, and fire life safety systems thread through a concrete honeycomb so the lid works like a building and a bridge at once. What do drivers and riders get in the end? Straighter geometry, reliable HOV transit lanes, and an extended 520 trail that ties into the regional bike network. The goal is speed where it matters and quiet where it counts. The risk? Weather, supply chains, and delicate marine work can tug the schedule off course. In a job this complex, a week's slip on the water can echo for months on land. Would you trade a few noisy seasons for a safer, greener gateway? Or is the disruption already too high a price? Picture a storm cell ripping over Queen Anne. Gutters roar, manholes hiss, and for decades that surge blasted straight into the Ship Canal. This project flips the script. Beneath Ballard, Fremont, and Wallingford, crews have bored a 2.7-mile tunnel, about 18 feet across, that works like a giant holding lung for the city's pipes. In a downpour, up to roughly 29 million gallons of mixed stormwater and sewage detour into the tunnel, wait out the peak, then get pumped to treatment. Cleaner Salmon Bay, Lake Union, and the canal are the payoff. The engineering is sneaky hard. Tunnel segments must stay watertight under buoyant uplift. Shafts dive more than 10 stories to reach the main bore. And every neighborhood connection, Ballard, Fremont, Wallingford, East Ballard, Queen Anne, needs precisely tuned gates and sensors so the whole system inhales in sync. Think of it as orchestrating 5 drummers to hit the same beat while standing a mile apart. Targets are aggressive. Capture the vast majority of overflow in a typical year and slash the number of discharge events to single digits per outfall. Risks remain. Electrical integration, pump station commissioning, and lining durability are the last hurdles. But if the handoff from construction to operations goes cleanly, Seattle trades dirty storm spikes for predictable, treatable flow. Walk East Lake in 2026, and you see the bones of a bus rapid transit spine taking shape. Red-painted lanes, new platforms with lighting and real-time screens, fresh signal hardware perched over intersections. The J line connects Roosevelt, the U District, East Lake, South Lake Union, and downtown. Places where a 5-minute delay at one light can snowball into 15. The fix is boring on paper and dramatic on the street. Dedicated lanes where it counts, signal priority that tips greens a few seconds longer, and stop spacing that trades 3 slow halts for 1 swift pull-in. Construction is the messy middle. Utility crews tangle with century-old pipes. Protected bike lanes thread past curb bulbs and loading zones. Pavement goes down, gets milled, and goes down again as cross streets are retimed. Think of it as tuning a drum kit. Every head has to be tightened just right or the rhythm falls apart. When it opens, the promise is simple. Frequent, legible, rain-proof reliability. Would you swap a car trip for that? Or does construction fatigue make you skeptical until the buses actually beat your stopwatch? Step onto Alaskan Way in early 2026, and the city finally meets the bay on its own terms. The old viaduct shadow is gone. In its place, a 20-acre ribbon of park, promenade, and bike path ties Pioneer Square to the market and Belltown. Overlook Walk pours people gently downhill like a landscaped waterfall. Ramps, stairs, and terraces stacking views of ferries, the wheel, and the Olympics. Pier 58's new playground and plaza hum with families. Native plantings soften seawall edges engineered to better handle tides and quakes. Streetcars of visitors? Not quite, but cruise passengers, office workers, and locals mix more easily now that crossings are flatter, signals are smarter, and lanes are clearly carved for bikes, buses, and trucks that still supply the waterfront. This last mile is mostly polish, punch list repairs, lighting tweaks, and a few blocks of finishing work near Bell Street. The question is simple. Will programming, markets, music, pop-ups keep feet on the boards in February rain? And will traffic calm enough that you'd actually choose to linger? Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about Seattle Megaprojects in 2026, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. Seattle's 2026 construction noise is the sound of a reset. Trains reaching farther, bridges hardening, streets moving with intention, and the shoreline welcoming people back. But the next act is bigger. By 2027, RapidRide J should be racing its stopwatch. SR 520's lid grows into a daily habit, not a detour. The Ship Canal tunnel flips from project to protector every time the clouds burst. And on the horizon, more link segments, station retrofits, and I-5 lid debates test how fast Seattle can build without burning out. The question isn't whether megaprojects change the city, they already have. It's whether they deliver enough time saved, spills prevented, and places created to win you over. When the cone's clear, will you change your route?